Oh, man. We got to talk now?
Well, we can jam out.
Sounds like music from maybe like one of the driving game. What was the one so popular for all?
Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
I would say Sister Act. Reminds me of Sister Act a little bit.
We got our own Sister Act going right here.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Sister Act that needs to come to an end in Stillwater. Remember the old "Like Mike, I want to be like Mike" commercials?
Yeah.
You don't want to be like Mike. I started thinking about all the times he threw his name out there and positioning for other jobs. And every time there was a decent opening, he'd, jump up there and everybody get wired up and everything. Well, I think all that's coming home to roost now. That's what I think. After last year, when OSU limped to a finish of 7-6 and a pitiful 3-6 in the Big 12 Conference. By the way, they were 3-5 against FBS teams with a record of 500 or better. Now they're 1-3 in this conference. It's clear to me that he's lost it with whether it's the rattlesnake roundups and other meaningless self-promoting horse manure crap that he does that has nothing to do with winning games at Oklahoma State. He looks disinterested. And last offseason, he even admitted that he was. He actually said, well, I got complacent. I can't get complacent and get paid where I am. I doubt if many of you can do that as well, except for those that are laying on a futon in your parents' basement. But at some point, they'll be no longer complacent. But when the head coach is tuned out, my guess is so is the rest of the staff, and certainly a bunch of 19 and 18 and 20-year-olds probably are. So I have a suggestion. It doesn't look like things are going really well up in Tulsa. Looks like they're struggling a little bit. All Mike's got to do is hop on that turnpike, go over, take that Tulsa job, and have a great place to watch his son play college football and coach him there. And you know what, Bill? Maybe there'll be a rattlesnake pit in Oilton or Cleveland or Drumright, on the way to Tulsa, so he can still show everybody what a man he still is. And he can be the man as long as he's not the man at my school anymore. It's time to take the keys out of his hands and give them to somebody else. The problem is he has one of the most ridiculous buyout clauses. I think he needs to focus on getting out of Sean Gleason's way. Because if you watch what that guy did when he was at Princeton and how unbelievably imaginative that offense was, this guy's handcuffed, without a doubt. How about focusing on finding a defensive coordinator that has a clue what they're doing? And how about focusing again on quarterback development? Because I've seen none of it. Frankly, Mason Rudolph didn't really develop. He didn't. He was as raw when he left as before. I would focus on not getting your butt fired at your alma mater. And if I hear culture one more time, look, you can call me an OSU insider if you want to. I do have some insight if I'm not necessarily an insider up there. You know what culture is, Bill? It's a euphemism for 3-star athletes. That's what it is. If they don't pan out, it was because they didn't fit our culture? Come on. Give me a break. They don't pan out because every other one's not good enough, because that's what you recruit, because you're too lazy to get out and do the job that you're getting paid to do as a top 15 coach and turning out a top 50 program if you're lucky. You were an offensive genius, Mike, when you had Larry Fedora as your offensive coordinator. You were an offensive genius, Mike, when Monken was your offensive coordinator. You were an offensive genius, Mike, when Dana Holgerson was your offensive coordinator. There's a reason you've declined. You can't hire a quality coach that'll put up with your stoic indifference anymore. Walk away, hand the keys to Casey Dunn. Have a nice day.
You talked about a coach having players run through the wall for him. I would have said a couple of years ago, Gundy was probably the best at doing that. As far as what was in the league then, probably not now, but then. Do you think his players have grown tired of that?
Yes. Absolutely.
Do you think there's anything he can do to change that?
Yeah, take the head job at Tulsa and coach his son, who has to listen to him. Because I'll tell you something, Bill. I think he's lost that team. I think he started to lose it last. When you come out and say, yeah, I got complacent last year and we had a lot of... You can't say that. You cannot do that.
You can think that, but you can't
say it.
Yeah.
And once you say it, you can't unsay it.
Yeah.
You can't step back up on the curb after the Greyhound bus has run you over. It's too late then. And that's what happened last. There was a Greyhound bus from Waco, Texas that ran him over. Bye. Happy times.
You're listening to Excessive Celebration on Crossover Sports, reminding you to watch out for that Greyhound bus when you get that app.